Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Steve Breach coming to you here tonight as we're talking about last night's WWE Elimination Chamber match from 2019. This, of course, was for the SmackDown brand, which was led by WWE's champion Daniel Bryan. He went into the match competing against Kofi Kingston, Samoa Joe, Randy Orton. Who am I missing that was in this match? It was honestly the only match on the entire card that I watched. I came home. I was pretty excited to watch the Elimination Chamber. Then I found out that basically the pre-show was already on. I had to do a small errand. I can't remember what the heck it was. And by the time I was done with that errand, just basically running around the house, I found out that I had missed the Elimination Chamber for the newly crowned WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. At that point, I really lost steam on the entire show of trying to figure out what the heck else was going to be on the show that I cared about. And I just basically started watching the NBA's All-Star Game, which I thought, even though it was kind of watered down, I don't really like the way that they split the teams up. It's not East versus West. It was James versus Giannis. And I didn't really think that I had a whole bunch of time for it. But I ended up watching the first half before finding out that the Elimination Chamber match was actually going to start. And I wanted to make sure that I saw that to see, what led up to WrestleMania. As the match was progressing, I thought that, being able to see Samoa Joe and AJ Styles battle in a WWE ring. I know that they had 3 matches on 3 major pay-per-views for WWE, and I didn't think any of those matches were any good. But inside of the chamber, I thought that those were must-see times. Being able to see Daniel Bryan and Samoa Joe rolling around in the ring was honestly pretty fun to watch as well. I didn't really think that anybody had a chance in the actual chamber match except for Daniel Bryan or AJ Styles to be able to get the win. But, we saw guys just sort of get eliminated here and there along the way. People are talking about the fact that AJ Styles wrestled in that match hurt. If he really did go out there and give us that effort, I'm really glad that he did. But I don't think anybody gave more of an effort more than Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston came in as a replacement for the Elimination Chamber match. And right off the bat, I thought that he was possibly the best person on the SmackDown roster to go into the chamber that was going to give it that much of a pop. Because basically, I don't care if it's a Royal Rumble, if it's an Elimination Chamber match, you put Kofi Kingston in there, his mind is going to start rattling off to basically give you something that you've never seen before. I rank him right up there with John Morrison, who's wrestling for TNA Impact now. He's not with the company. But when Morrison was in WWE, I always thought that almost every match, didn't matter if it was on ECW, if it was on Raw, if it was on SmackDown, he was going to go out of his way to make sure that he gave you something that made you remember him, that, maybe would think that it would just sort of progress him up the card. It never happened for him. I thought that he was going to be WWE champion. There's a big push, for Kofi Kingston after that match that he had on SmackDown, where he just kept on beating guy after guy after guy, and people coming out of the woodwork basically saying that I forgot Kofi was this good. You go back, you remember Kofi Kingston having the big push that was supposed to start, that, people say that Randy Orton ended because he went in the back and, threw a big fit, that Kofi messed up the spot on Monday Night Raw. If WWE wanted to get behind Kofi Kingston and push him back in 2009, 2010, they would have done it. I don't think it was Randy Orton that really killed Kofi's push, but Kofi showed that, I don't want to throw legend status out there, but he is one of the guys on the roster that you can really give the ball to and can really still go out there and deliver. Never did I ever think that Kofi Kingston was going to surprise us all and win that match, but the effort that Kofi gave to really push Daniel Bryan, I was really soaking in, and I can honestly tell you that I was cheering for him, even though I didn't think he had a chance in hell to win. Daniel Bryan was able to finally roll him up and get the win, where he retained the title. Now here we are leading into WrestleMania. I don't really know how SmackDown is going to crown a number one contender to go into it. I think it would be fun to see Daniel Bryan against Kofi Kingston at Fastlane. I think that's a match that you can sort of build on to sort of make Fastlane really mean something. Because as of right now, I don't think there's any match that WWE can put on Fastlane that's really going to make it more than an extra edition of Raw or SmackDown. I think that, you've already got Rollins versus Brock. You're not going to be able to take that away. Maybe you can come up with someone number one contenders match where somebody has a match to see who's going to fight Bryan on the show. But for the most part, if it's not, Intercontinental or, the United States or one of the tag belts maybe changing hands, I can't really think of anything that's going to be monumental towards WrestleMania. So I thought the match was really good. It was a lot of fun. Bryan got the win. I think he was the favorite going into it. Maybe AJ Styles was the second pick, but just about everybody I saw, pick Bryan. Bryan got the win, and we'll see what happens coming into WrestleMania 35.